No D.
What an embarrassment. What an absolute embarrassment. I guess Elle Duncan finally got her wish. Her dreams have come true. Couple of weeks ago, the delusional diva who thinks that she is a star, she was clamoring for more D in the WNBA, which was kind of a weird request since some believe there's already an abundance of D in the WNBA. But either way, Elle Duncan was demanding more D in the WNBA, and her dream came true last night. Not only was there D on the court, there were also D batteries included to provide a supercharge to the D. God. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. This league is such a joke. Time and time again, the WNBA proves why they're not to be taken seriously. There are battery-powered cucumbers on the court. Angel Reese is once again hitting the bottom of the backboard with her patented helicopter layups. The on-court product is a flaming ass fire. Why in the hell would I waste my time watching this garbage? You know, the WNBA is in a tough spot. Matter of fact, the WNBA is in a dangerous spot. Right now, there is this illusion of success. These ratings are amazing! People are actually coming to our games! Tickets are hot, hot, hot! Our pretend friends in the mainstream media are giving us endless publicity! We're finally famous! Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes! For once, the WNBA isn't lying about their success. For years, the WNBA worked tirelessly to polish this turd. They were pretending to be successful. They were pretending that people actually cared about pretend basketball. But now, they finally made it. The WNBA has finally made it into the mainstream. There is this old adage in show business: the hardest part is not getting to the top. The hardest part isn't achieving success. The hardest part is maintaining it. Every day, there are creators here on YouTube, mainly with YouTube Shorts, who go viral. They make some low effort 60-second video. It receives millions of views. All of a sudden, they go from 100 to 100,000 subscribers. 24 hours later, they're forgotten. It is tough to build and maintain a dedicated audience. It doesn't happen overnight. It's tough to keep people coming back day after day, year after year. The reason I say the WNBA is experiencing the illusion of success, it's not because I can't stand this league, which is true. I have never hidden my disdain for pretend basketball. I don't call it the dump as a compliment. But the reason I refer to their success as an illusion, it's because the vast majority of the attention that the league receives, it's got nothing to do with the actual product. Think about it. When you hear about Major League Baseball, you hear about the kid who had 4 home runs in a game. What was that, last week? He broke some all-time record by having 4, maybe 5 home runs, double-digit RBIs. I don't remember his exact stats, but I do remember hearing about it. I don't even watch baseball, but I heard about the story. Even something like WWE. I'm watching this documentary on Netflix right now about the original world of make-believe, the world the WNBA is trying to emulate. When I hear about the WWE, or when I'm watching documentaries on it, the focus is specifically on their content, their product. Think about the major stories in the WNBA. Last year, it was white privilege and mythical racism, the jealousy and resentment of Caitlin Clark. This year, it's fans being thrown out of games because WNBA players are allergic to criticism. If the actual product is discussed, it's because the on-court product is unbelievably bad. Not all of it. There are some good players in the WNBA, but there are also a lot of bad players in this league. Games are being stopped because Just for Men failed to properly attach their product and players are losing their weave. And now, we have a stoppage of play in the WNBA because L. Duncan's dream came true and there was synthetic D on the court. Last night, the Atlanta Dreamers, they were playing some team called GSV. GSV. I don't remember those letters being added to LGBT. I remember plus plus. I remember the @ sign. My inside sources are telling me that there are negotiations to have the exclamation point included, but I don't remember the inclusion of GSV identifiers. Late in the fourth quarter, this high-scoring contest of elite athleticism was tied at 75. There was less than a minute to go. The dozens of friends and families in the arena, they were on their feet, waiting with anticipation to see who would win this meaningless game. All of a sudden, one of the officials spanks her whistle and stops the game. With the recent war between the WNBA and their fan base, the AI-generated viewers watching at home initially thought someone was being kicked out of the community center. As it turns out, the AI was partially correct. Someone wasn't getting kicked out, but something was. Check it out for yourself. My sources at the game texted me last night. They said as soon as the cucumber was identified, WNBA players, they ran to the locker room. Even though it was synthetic, they were terrified at the mere sight of D on their court. I had several people send me this clip last night. I thought it was fake. I have people send me things all the time that aren't real. Normally it takes me less than 5 minutes for me to confirm it's not authentic. When I initially saw this last night, I didn't even waste my time. I took a look, I laughed at it, and I assumed it was fake. But then I received confirmation. This is real. I know this was a prank. I know the WNBA had nothing to do with this, but how in the hell am I supposed to take this league seriously? It seems like every time we hear about the WNBA, it's an embarrassing moment. Unfortunately, this was not the only embarrassing moment last night for the dump of dumps. Matter of fact, what I'm about to show you, I think it's significantly worse. Just when I thought Angel Reese was turning a corner. Just when I thought Angel Reese was transitioning from pretend basketball player to make-believe basketball player. As you guys know, the next level up from a make-believe player is a real basketball player. Angel Reese was on the right path. She was making you believe that she was a legitimate athlete. But after the All-Star break, Angel Reese has returned to her typical norm, which in this case is one of the worst players imaginable. Well, KC, that's just not true. Angel Reese transformed into the double-double Barbie last night. She was incredible! Yeah, the Barbie with dozens of aliases always looks great statistically. You know who else looked great on paper? Derek Carr. You know what he won? Not a damn thing. Once again, a statistically great performance from Angel Reese. It had absolutely no impact on winning, mainly because the Chicago Bravado once again got their ass kicked. Angel Reese was so bad last night, the announcers calling the game, they were laughing at her performance. Check out some highlights for yourself. Well, KC, you always do this. You select a couple of bad plays and try to convince us that Angel Reese isn't a superstar. For starters, I spent the last few weeks complimenting Angel Reese for turning her season around. With her dominant performances in June, she earned her All-Star selection. But these aren't just a couple of bad plays. These aren't bloopers. These aren't rare moments. This is the norm. The same thing happened last week when the Chicago Bravado got their ass kicked by the Minnesota Linkers. I don't have to convince you that Angel Reese has no impact on winning. Just look at her record. Look at her resume in the WNBA. The Chicago Bravado, they are 7-19 this season. Since Angel Reese landed in Chicago and rented an apartment that she pretends she can't afford, the Chicago Bravado are 20-46. I'm no expert in math, but it looks like Angel Reese wins 1 out of every 3 games. If I remember correctly, Angel Reese has beaten a team with a winning record once this season. So you tell me how Angel Reese impacts winning. Like I said earlier, this is a very dangerous time right now for the WNBA. There's the real possibility of a labor strike. 2026 WNBA season could be postponed or potentially canceled. There are more eyes on the product than ever before. The media coverage is relentless. There is legitimate interest in this league, but the question going forward, can they maintain it? Now, I have no doubt that Caitlin Clark will exceed expectations, but the problem with Caitlin Clark, she can't stay on the court. But even if she could, can the rest of the WNBA maintain interest? Me personally, I don't think there's interest to begin with in the rest of the league. Most teams are struggling to sell tickets. Last night, there were 3,200 people at that game in Atlanta. Try to find ratings for games not involving the Indiana Felines. The All-Star game was, 2 weeks ago? There have been several nationally televised games in the WNBA since then. Outside of Felines Bravado last weekend on ABC, ratings aren't available for any other game in the WNBA. I wonder why. Like I've told you guys before, the success of the WNBA, it's built on a shaky foundation. Not only are you 100% reliant on one player who can't seem to stay healthy, at least this season, but the vast majority of coverage that your league receives, it's got nothing to do with your product. The interest isn't driven by basketball. The interest is driven by the drama. This is literally a league based on a gimmick. Is that sustainable? Well, the WWE has survived on gimmicks for decades, but in real sports, I don't think it's sustainable long term. Remember a couple of years ago when Meg Rapinoe was driving interest in the NWSL with her antics? When is the last time you heard anything about the NWSL? Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.